Okay, well, thank you all so much for being here and joining me, whether you are here live or here on the replay. I'm really excited for us to dive into this topic today and talk about activating calm and compassion in the midst of this chaotic world that we are living in through our inner journey, because it is really through that inner journey that we are having that really affects change and really allows us to create the ripple effect that we wish to see in the world. And I'm sure every generation has felt on some level like they're living through unprecedented times, but we truly are, I feel like. We're going through so many things as a human collective right now. And even astrologically and from an astronomy viewpoint, our solar system orbits around the Milky Way galaxy and around that galactic center. And we have been the furthest away from that galactic center that we've ever been. And our solar system is starting to make its orbit come back closer to that galactic center of the Milky Way galaxy. And that brings a lot of energetic shift into our planet and what we're experiencing together. So today, in this two-part webinar series, part 2 will be next Friday at noon. And so today we're really going to focus on the path to clarity and how that really begins by getting grounded. So we're going to have some good grounding techniques and really tune in to what makes us grounded and how to bring in more clarity together. So just to set some intention for our time together, I would like to share with you a little bit about why this work is so important to me. Back when I still worked in corporate, I would wake up early every single morning and have this big, long morning practice where I would do meditation and breath work and chakra work and yoga and qigong and just learn all of these different tools and all of these different practices. And I loved this time because it was so much fun. I was just playing and learning all these things, and I was having these aha moments and realizations and just really getting to enjoy practicing and learning all of this. And at the same time, I was also having a lot of self-doubt, and I would feel it right in the middle of my chest, right in my heart center. It was just like pulling at me. Every time I would have some big aha or realization or message come through, it was like, yeah, but how do you know if that's true? You're just making this up. Where does this come from? And the day that all changed, I was doing a walking meditation, and I always liked to finish by asking for a message for the day. And so I had asked for this message, and I had this beautiful experience, and immediately that self-doubt and just ripping at me came in, and I stopped in my tracks and thought, does it really matter? Does it matter where this is coming from, even if it's my imagination? Because it's lifting me up. And all of this that was just agonizing was really just interference. That's what I couldn't trust. And so when I was able to have that mindset shift and drop the self-doubt and all of that interference spinning around, I was able then to really trust what was coming through and allow more space. And it really helped me get very grounded, which opened up space for a lot of clarity. And I really credit my daily practice as what brought me to that point, because I had set aside that time where I was devoted and committed to myself. Now, some days it wasn't a big, long practice. Some days it was very short. It would look very different. It doesn't have to be one thing for anyone, because we're all here to find our own path. But I do have a lot of just I really value being able to set aside that time for ourselves. And so my intention for our time today is to be able to open up to any realizations that need to come in, releasing any interference that needs to go out in order to create that grounded space to open up for more clarity to come in. So because you are here today, I know that you are someone that has a very purposeful heart. You are someone that has this big spark that is here to be shared with the world. Now, whether that is meant to be shared through actual work and a business, or if it's something that is just for you, something that maybe is rippled out through your relationships and your interactions with other people, however that expresses through you, I know that you have this beautiful heart's desire and heart's calling to be on a path of self-discovery and just getting to share your mission and your purpose and what really lights you up. And if you're here today, I am also assuming that you might be someone who knows that you are intuitive, knows that you have this special spark, but you may also have some overwhelm or frustration or self-doubt and things that creep in that take you maybe off your path a little bit or that distract you from really living your purpose and really living your heart's desires in a way that is as clear as you would like them to be. So whether that looks like being hesitant to follow your intuition or not being able to clearly hear it, or having trouble making decisions or needing outside validation, or maybe you even just want to hear your spirit guides or your angels or earth spirits more clearly and build a relationship with your spiritual support team and your higher self. So I really am just grateful that we get to spend this time together and cultivate this practice and this path of really going within. So let's start by setting a little bit of energy here and just getting into a grounded space. So also part of the invitation as we do this is to follow what feels best for you. So if I ask you to close your eyes, but you don't feel like closing your eyes, then don't do it. If I'm saying something to like visualize something and you see something else, go with what you see. Just allow yourself to be in a space that feels best for you and take what I say as a suggestion. And I also really like this chart here because it points out, our chakra system helps us find that alignment within. And it also points us to the Earth Star chakra beneath our feet that helps us ground deeply into Mother Earth, and that Soul Star chakra above our head, that 8th chakra, that helps us connect to our higher self and source energy and find that grounded alignment within ourselves. So if you want to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths here. And just allow your breath to start to get heavy. Maybe you have an audible exhale as you release and relax. Starting to feel your breath moving like a wave through your body. That inhale and exhale connected together. Now bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. And begin to breathe into your heart center, just focusing your breath and your attention in that space, in the center of your chest. Really feeling into that purposeful heart that is a part of you. Feeling into the spark within yourself. And now with your breath, taking that energy down to your other hand between your hips, focusing on your pelvic bowl. Just breathing into that space. Focusing that energy down into your root chakra. And with your breath and attention, continuing to focus down your legs, like your breath is flowing from that root chakra down your legs into your feet. And continue sending your breath down into the ground beneath you. Feel it connect down into Mother Earth, into that Earth Star chakra beneath your feet that connects you with the planet. Feel this like a root that connects you into the firmament of that solid earth that holds you. Taking another breath here. Feel that energy come back up from your roots in the earth, back up through your legs, up through your pelvis, up through your core, back into your heart. And now I'll share an affirmation, and I invite you to repeat it out loud after me or silently if that feels good to you. Body, this is a safe space to be, and I choose this. Body, this is a safe space to be, and I choose this. Body, this is a safe space to be, and I choose this. And as you feel those words and that energy through your body, just notice if there's any softening, any shifting. And just breathe into the safety and security here in your body and in the space that you're in. Now, whenever you're ready, take all the time you need to start to come back to yourself very slowly, wiggling fingers, maybe opening your eyes when you're ready. And as you do, take a minute to look away from the computer screen and just kind of get centered back into your space. You might even need to stretch or wiggle just a little bit. So now that we've set the space, let's talk about the real takeaways here. You are the expert of your own life, and you already have everything you need inside of you. Now, a lot of times we know those things logically, but it's very, very important. And so I'm going to repeat it again. You are the expert of your own life, and you already have everything you need inside of you. So let's dive into that just a little bit and break it down. You are the expert of you. Now, absolutely, we need a community. We need a support system. I think it is a wonderful idea to outsource when we need it. I definitely work with coaches and healers and therapists and get the support that I need when I need it. I'm not here to be the expert in herbs, even though I love herbs. And so, of course, I outsource that information to have someone whose life path is that, to help me. But that does not mean that when we are getting that support, that we're giving our power away. That is something I definitely used to do in the past. And I think a really good example of that is when we go to the doctor's office. There's kind of this precedence set where the doctor is the expert and they're going to tell you what you need to do and that this is the way to do it, right? When really we are the expert. We are just outsourcing their medical experience and knowledge. My life path has not been to go to medical school. And so of course I want their input, but that does not mean that then they have power over us. And so when we can really sink into the knowing that we are already the expert of our own life, it's just to bring that power back into us so that then we can get what we need and source what we need without turning over any of our power. And everything you need is already inside of you. It may take a little bit of unlocking in order to access some of those things. Just like finding a key that's camouflaged on the forest floor. There may need to be a process to unlock what is already inside of you, but you already have everything you need. Now, I do believe that there's probably a spectrum along that belief, but I'm going to break it down into kind of two camps just for the purpose of what we're talking about here today. So when you hear that, if you don't actually believe that you already have everything you need, I really want to give you permission to be okay with that belief where it is, to just take a step back and get really curious about, when she says that, I don't actually believe I have everything I need. Because I think that this can really open up a big space just to explore what we need to be uncovering for ourselves in order to find those keys to unlocking more of what we need. And I would just encourage you, if you are someone who is maybe struggling with that belief, maybe you know it up here, but you don't actually feel it in your body, or you don't actually feel that it's true for you, then just to do your best to get curious and not label that as something that's bad or wrong, or that you should be believing this, and just to get on the path of exploring that belief. And in camp number 2, I think a lot of us are in a space where we know we already have everything we need. We just have some interference blocking us from being able to completely unlock that and access that. It might be interference of self-doubt, or it might be confusion or frustration or overwhelm that's kind of blocking you from really accessing everything that you need that's already inside of you. So in order to unlock that, we really need to strip away interference. The interference that is circling around and keeping us from really unlocking all of that inner knowing and that inner knowledge. And I will share a story that just happened to me this week where I think you'll be able to see my interference almost like hijacking, because a lot of times that interference can feel so strong and so powerful that it can hijack our minds and take us away from that core belief and that core knowing that's inside of us. So this last Sunday, I got the opportunity to facilitate a live workshop. Some of you here were with me on Sunday, and it was just beautiful and amazing. I hadn't led anything in person since way before COVID. And so just getting to be in that space with everyone gathered together, I found it to be just so enlivening and uplifting. And it just felt electric to me. It felt so rejuvenating. And when I left, like I could feel like, yeah, that was really good. But it took me the rest of that evening and all the next day to really allow myself to receive the joy of what had been created, of what I had created by creating all this new content and getting to share it with people. My mind kept wanting to interfere and tell me like, oh, this is what you could have done better, or this is what you should do next time, or you have this big long to-do list, put the blinders on, you don't have time to slow down and enjoy this, just get back to the to-do list. And I had to really work at that, because I knew if I could not slow down and fully receive the joy of what had been created there, that it diminishes the joy for everyone involved. It would diminish the joy of that experience for everyone who had participated on an energetic level. It would diminish what we're creating here together today if I didn't allow myself to just slow down, to-do list be damned, and just allow myself to meditate, work through some shadow work of some things that were coming up, telling me, oh, but you're not good enough, you could have done this better. And just slowing down and allowing myself to just fully be present to the goodness of what had been created. So as we strip away our interference, I would love to invite you to kind of shift the mindset here, that those things that circle around and that can block us from accessing more of that inner knowing can sometimes just be like a raindrop on a pond, where you're not seeing the still surface underneath. It is disturbing the surface of the water, but it's really adding to the water, and it's really just playing with the water, right? And it's causing more of life to happen because it's coming together. And so a lot of times our interference can really just be pointing us in the direction that we are meant to go in order to find more of what we need. So we're going to take a minute here to get clear on our interference and what is blocking us from accessing more of that inner knowing and that grounded clarity. Because when we can start to build awareness around that interference and kind of call it out, it starts to take the power away from the interference and put it back where it belongs, bringing that power back into you instead of letting that interference hijack you. And this is also a really great way to honor that interference as just the little raindrops against the bigger pond that you are. And honor it as you start to say goodbye to it. Like, thank you for serving your purpose. and I see that you are on your way out, because it will start to point you towards more and more clarity. So, as we go through a little bit of a meditative exercise here, just to ground into it, I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and give it a label. So, you might find a word, a situation, something where you can kind of hone in on what is top of mind for you that is interfering, in order to kind of put it in a little box and let the brain organize and categorize that. So I'm going to invite you again to close your eyes whenever you're ready, if that feels good to you, and to just take a couple of deep breaths again. And you might want to put your one hand on your heart center again, and one hand on your belly. And once again, just tune into your breath. And start to tune in again to that lower body, in your hips, in your legs, into the ground, tuning back into that root connected to Mother Earth, creating that safe and stable foundation, breathing that energy back up your legs, back up into your pelvis and your core, breathing that Mother Earth energy, holding you and nourishing you, breathing it back into your heart. And as you settle your attention and your breath into your heart center, just allow your mind to go into your mental chatter. Go into what's not serving you. What is interfering with you right now? Is it a relationship, a dynamic, a state of being? Is there a feeling associated with it? Is there a word, a quality? Or how would you describe it in just a couple of sentences? And even if the answers aren't completely clear, that's okay, because you're creating the space for clarity to come. As you breathe into your heart, know that as you give words, give a definition to what's interfering with you, you're creating the space to love that part of you as well. And as you can give that part of yourself love, you know that helps you set the stage to release what is no longer serving you. Taking another breath into your heart, thanking yourself for being in this space. And when you're ready, coming back to yourself again. Taking all the time you need. And if you need a couple minutes here to journal or jot down whatever came up for you, go ahead and do that now. So as we start to move on, just know that if there's more there for you, you can always come back to this space and spend a little bit more time with that. So the next thing we're going to talk about is your clarity and the tone of your clarity. So the tone of your clarity is, what does it feel like to you? What quality does your clarity feel like? What comes to mind? Maybe, you picture yourself, if I were clear about this thing, then this is how it would feel, or this is what would happen in my life. And so we're going to spend a little bit of time just connecting to the feeling of clarity, what that feels like to you, what you picture around it, so that you can start to connect. You already have it inside of you, and you've already felt clarity at times in your life before. So we are going to spend just a little bit of time here to get into that feeling state of your clarity. Okay, so this is one of my favorite artists, Autumn Sky, has this beautiful picture called True North. And I just love that because it really evokes within me that true north, that guiding compass that is really alive inside of us. So I will ask you again to spend a meditative moment with me here. So whenever you're ready, if you would like to close down your eyes again. And we're going to start this time with our breath. Start to feel your breath in your belly. Really allow your breath to expand your belly on your inhale, contracting your belly on your exhale. Feeling that wave of breath moving through. After a few good belly breaths here, now bring your breath up to your chest, up to your heart center. Feeling your chest expand on your inhale. Like it's reaching up, up, up. And letting it contract and be heavy on your exhale. Taking a few deep breaths here into that heart center. And feeling your sternum rise and fall with your breath. And now feeling your breath expand throughout your rib cage. You may even want to put your hands on the sides of your ribs. And feeling your ribs expand like they're a barrel opening. Expanding and contracting with your breath. Now bringing your hands back to your heart center and back to your belly. If that feels good to you. Kind of put that breath all together. Just feeling the expansion with your inhale throughout your whole being. And then let it contract and be heavy on your exhale. And on your inhale, again, feeling that breath expand through your body. Feel it expand into your energy field. Let it be heavy on your exhale. One more breath in and out here. And now start to feel into the core of your being. Your breath and your attention might go to your spinal column, might go to the muscles inside your core that run all the way up your spine into your head. And begin to see a pillar of white light around you, through you, surrounding that core of your inner being. And inside that core of your inner being, begin to connect to your clarity. What does it feel like? Or what would it feel like if you felt clear, confident? What words describe that for you? Is there anything you picture? Is there anything that would happen or change in your life? How do you envision your clarity? Really connect to that feeling. Feel your clarity filling up that core of your being. Like a solid, stable rod, all the way from the top of your head, through your body, into your feet, and into the earth. That's the stability and the true essence of your inner being. Now, from that clear connection, start to bring back in the words you use to describe the interference. And just see those words, those qualities orbiting around you, just circling around your clarity. You might even feel like your body wants to circle. You might want to do a few just as you can in your seat. Just circles with your spine, or your shoulders, or your hips. And then reverse it and go the other way. Just knowing that that interference orbits around the clarity that is your true essence. And just like the planets orbit the sun, and just like the spinning of the electrons within our cells, the circling and orbiting is a natural progression. And just like the planets orbiting around the sun, the planets do not change the sun. And this interference orbiting around your true self and your true clarity does not change the essence of who you are. And as you breathe that knowingness back into your heart center, take another deep breath here. And take all the time you need to come back to yourself. And feel free to write down, if there was anything that came up for you, any of those labels for your interference, or anything else that came up. Take a couple minutes here to journal about that. So feel free to keep writing or come back to this if there's more for you there. And I just want to kind of wrap up here with encouraging you to find your practice, whatever that is for you, whether that's a daily practice, it may not be daily, going into building that toolkit and building that devotion and commitment to yourself in order to continue allowing space for what grounds you and bringing in more of your clarity. So a lot of times we need to start by assessing what support do you really need? Do you need to just start with 5 minutes of breath work every day? Or do you need something that is bigger to really hold more space for you? And I always encourage people to keep it doable. If you are doing, a 10-minute practice already, it may not be feasible to add 30 minutes of journaling to that. So just starting with where you are so that you can actually continue to build that practice. And also tuning into what excites you. What is kind of thrilling when you think about doing more inner work for yourself. Now, sometimes it can also be a little bit scary, or, there may be other feelings wrapped up into that, but really looking at what is exciting or thrilling to be focusing on because of what you want to be creating in your life. Now, I do hope that every single person got something out of the time that we shared here together today, and that may be all that you need. But for those of you who do want to continue building a practice and doing it with a bigger container of support and with a group of people, I would love to invite you into my Rooted live online group program. This is going to be going on from November 30th through February 4th. So we're going to be spending that New Year's portal way together in order to really go inward during this season of fall and winter. And as we look at the new year, in order to get really grounded and clear on our inner knowing and looking at what we want to be creating for the next year as well. Now, with this course, there will be 8 modules. These are broken down into videos and PDFs. so that there is a little bit of learning content and self-discovery journaling prompts, as well as meditations and breath work and daily practice to come back to. There are 4 live group calls, and we, for the most part, kind of cycle with the moon and do these near new moons and full moons, so that we can just create a community of support where people have the opportunity to come share, be heard, be seen, be supported, and then we meditate together. And the live meditations are always tailored to what we're working on together as a group. There are also 3 Akashic energy clearings for the group as a whole. So again, it's always structured to what the group needs, what is active and alive for us as a community, and really clearing out the energy that's ready to be released and programming in and setting space to really hold the tone of what we want to be creating. And there is also a Facebook group for community support where we can come together and really support each other as we're doing this work together. And one transformational journey from this work that I love to share is from Mandy Campbell. She is a birth doula, and she did this program with me. And one of the things I love the most is that when I asked her what she enjoyed from the course, she said, besides all of this wonderful feedback about, she began to open her eyes to the way she was evolving, seeing more of her true and authentic self. I know she has really leaned in to using the journaling prompts and the meditation practices, and being able to use those in more of a bite-sized, actionable way. But she said one of her favorite things about the course was doing it with her cousin and her best friend, because she brought them along. And so really doing it with other people that, besides the community that is brought together, she was able to do this work with friends and to really expand that joy and feel even more supported. So in this course, there are several bonuses. I do have a bring a friend bonus where you can each take 25% off or buy one, get one half off, so that you can bring friends along and do this work with the people that you care about most. I also offer this, if cost is prohibitive, the sacred exchange for this course is $497. And so if that is a little bit out of reach for some people, I do encourage you to message me, because you may be paired with someone else who is in a similar situation and wants to share that discount, or to be able to be sponsored by someone who is able to pay full price and share the 50% off discount with you. The first 5 people who sign up for this course get a personalized soul gift profile, where I am personally reading in your Akashic records how you are built at soul level and the gifts that you can really see more clearly about yourself when it's reflected to you, and how to really work with that in the positive side and in the challenging side. And everyone who joins Rooted gets my soul gift course. So this is an online course where you get to learn about all of the expressions of these soul gifts. And the first 2 people to sign up get an individual session with me where we are really going into clearing your own personal blocks and reading your own personal energy of what you're ready to manifest and create right now. And everyone who joins Rooted also has access to discounted personal sessions and soul gift profiles. I do also offer, only to Rooted members, another short course called Renewal, Finding the Gold in Your Shadow, February 14th through March 14th, where we are going deeper into your shadow and coming back out into your light. And I require that everyone, who does this course with me must be rooted first. And we really go into this at just the right time in the season, where it's that final inward look, like that final bear in the cave before waking up from hibernation and before the trees start to sprout and, the renewal of life begins to happen. And that course is normally $127, but is discounted for Rooted members to $88. And so I hope that everyone here today really got something out of our time together. And, if you do want to go further into this, you can check out the website rootedheart.support and message me if you have questions about it. I just want to really thank all of you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your time and your energy and your beautiful hearts and souls with me today. And I am just wishing you all the best. I hope you have a great rest of your Friday and a wonderful weekend, and stay warm out there too.